For over a century, the gas-powered engine has powered Michigan's economy. It built the middle class, paid for mortgages, and put kids through college. Abdul El-Sayed wants to ban gas-powered vehicles. He wants to bury the beating heart of the Motor City.
Abdul El-Sayed is not trying to ban the gas-powered vehicle. If anything, he's trying to make gas more affordable again so that we can power that vehicle. It may come as a shock to Mike Rogers and his followers that actually Abdul El-Sayed has nothing to do with the illegal war that Trump started. And that illegal war that was started by Mike Rogers' party is causing some to worry about our dependency on fossil fuels. But MAGA is so afraid of the popularity of Abdul's actual policies that they have to fearmonger about Michigan's auto industry instead of facing the reality that what he really wants to do is make life more affordable for everyday citizens.
My name is not raising your gas prices. My name is not the reason we're in an illegal war. My name is not the reason you can't afford your health care. My name is not the reason that you can't afford your rent or your insurance. Their bad ideas are. And so if the best they've got against getting money out of politics, putting money in pockets, passing Medicare for all, is to point to my name and say that they can't pronounce it, then I think we're going to have a pretty good time over the next 13 weeks prosecuting the case against a kind of politics that is corrupting, and devastating the future of our country. We've got an opportunity, I think, though, to think beyond that. I think people are sick and tired of this politics of hatred. They're sick and tired of politicians who are interested in exploiting government for their own means, which is exactly what Mike Rogers did while he was in Congress, making $14 million after he left to move to a McMansion in Florida, which is what Donald Trump is doing now. And we're offering an alternative, a doctor who rebuilt the health department, eliminated medical debt, put Narcan in vending machines for free, and yes, happens to be named Abdul El-Sayed.
And while we're on the subject of Abdul's name not being why your gas prices are higher, you want to know who doesn't care about gas-powered vehicles? Or at least, he doesn't care about if you can afford to put gas in those vehicles. Well, of course, it's Trump.
So I just say this. So for you to pay a tiny little bit more for your gasoline, just remember, you're doing it so that a very evil country cannot have a country. Really, it's the #1 state sponsor of terror in the world. We don't want to have them have a nuclear weapon. So remember that when you have to pay a little bit more, you're at $4. It's okay. I mean, it's I'll never apologize. I did the right thing.
And perhaps they lobbed this bad faith attack on Abdul about banning the gas-powered engine because of his long-standing support of the Green New Deal and renewable energy.
Solar panels, collecting energy from the sun. That's incredible. Because guess what? We don't actually have to burn stuff from the ground into the lungs of our children to get clean renewable energy. And that was the purpose of a landmark clean energy law passed in 2023. It required DTE to get to 100% renewable energy by 2040. And you see the consequences of that right here. But there was one loophole, there was one poison pill, that if energy demand got high enough that they'd be let out of that requirement. And guess what? With the advent of a new data center not too far away from here, there's about to be a spike in demand that is 25% more than the entire energy output that DTE currently does. And that means that, in effect, this law that created this, that buys us out of having to breathe dirty air, it's rendered moot. We have a responsibility in this moment right now to make sure that these new data centers that are going to suck so much energy out of the grid don't come at the cost of affordable, reliable energy for us, and don't come at the cost of the work that was done to protect us from the consequences of burning fossil fuels. DTE, your turn. Show your work.
But as we can see here, he doesn't shy away, even in 2026, of his long-standing history of fighting for a better way for people and for our planet to fuel our futures.
The wildfires from Canada deeply affected Michigan's air quality, especially in Detroit. What environmental measures are you planning to decrease the dangers of air pollution?
I just want to speak specifically to your question. I can tell you about what we've already done. We put air quality monitors all over Wayne County so folks can get real-time information about the air that they're breathing. Took on some of the biggest corporate polluters in our state when I was in the city of Detroit. Took on Marathon Petroleum, the biggest polluter and the most polluted zip code in the state, forced them to invest their own money to reduce emissions when they had wanted to increase them. The truth of the matter is that these wildfires are happening more often because it's drier and hotter than it has been in the past. It's drier and hotter because we continue to rely on fossil fuels for our energy. We need to get to 100% renewable energy. And the only way we're going to do that is by taking the Chevrons and the Exxons of the world out of our politics. Now, guess whose campaign they supported? Well, if you guessed my Congresswoman colleague, you probably guessed right, because yes, they have both given to that campaign. So when you hear ideas of things that ought to be done, but they never actually get done, you should ask yourself why it doesn't get done. Well, because the people who sell oil in this country fund the politicians who make sure that they can keep selling oil.
And while they fearmonger about the gas-powered engine in Abdul's name, they ignore that the war is at the heart of why we can't afford gas and many other things in this country, and Abdul stands against the premise of the war and who we're fighting it for.
He doesn't love Israel. He doesn't love Jewish people. He hates them. He hates them with a passion that burns in his heart.
What's your reaction to that, Dr. El-Sayed?
I love and revere Judaism and the Jewish people. I believe they're a light unto the world. I grew up in a community that had a large Jewish population. I was so grateful to get to be invited to Seder and to Shul and to Bar and Bat mitzvahs. I'm really honored for what I learned and got to share with my Jewish sisters and brothers. But they are not the same as AIPAC in Israel. AIPAC is an organization that spent, $30 million to beat me so that they could have one more vote in the U.S. Senate to guarantee that our taxpayer dollars would be sent abroad to subsidize a foreign government's military to do the worst things: genocide, apartheid, take us into wars we have no business fighting. And I'm running for Senate here in Michigan. I believe that we have a responsibility here in Michigan. I want our tax dollars spent to provide good schools, to pay for health care, to rebuild our roads here in Michigan, rather than it being sent abroad to subsidize foreign militaries. That's not just Israel, by the way. That is also Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Jordan and Pakistan. So I believe in international law. I believe in equal rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination for all people. I believe in a process that allows a free Palestinian people and free Jewish Israeli people to come together around what they believe the ultimate peace should look like. And I believe that our tax dollars should be spent on the things that are needed here in Michigan rather than to subsidize foreign militaries abroad.
Or maybe they want to smear him about Medicare for all and his stance on everyone being afforded healthcare in this country.
I went to medical school because I wanted to be a doctor, only to realize that our healthcare system was actively pushing out the people I wanted to take care of. And I'll be honest with you, it's very few people say they got radicalized in med school, but when I watched our healthcare system, on the 9th floor of the extremely prestigious hospital that I was training in, we had people playing pianos for foreign dignitaries coming to get heart procedures. And then in the basement, watching indigent New Yorkers get, in effect, pushed out of the healthcare system before they got the care they needed. It really changed the way I thought about our system. That's the side of things that I've had to struggle with. How righteously mad can I be on behalf of people who've had a system that is architected against them in ways that actively lies to them? And that shit pisses me off.
Okay, start off with the glasses on. Okay, my name is Mr. Larry. On my way to work one day, I was in a car accident. I had insurance, but the bills kept coming. I was in thousands of dollars of debt. I'd get a letter in the mail, and the next thing I know, my debt was cleaned. Abdul fought for a program to cancel medical debt, and he won. That helped a lot of people, and it helped me for sure. He's a good man. He's kind-hearted. I can't wait to see what he does in Washington.
I'm Abdul El-Sayed, and I approve this message.
And none of these things seem very radical or scary to me. He's for healthcare for all and renewable energy that is more affordable, sustainable, and ultimately safer for people and our planet. He is against the illegal war and genocide, and ultimately he is for dignity for all people. So if those are radical ideas, call me a radical. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe to USDS, as well as check out your local DSA chapter to get involved. My name is Lex Voytek, and I'll see you next time.